home because Omuanitua said the Ghana Omampenyin President Akufo-Addo government no. Ijuma yebeye.
Abusian for na munyina kwa bason ko de ba RAZ MEDIA GH so. Abusian ene Dr. Alhaji Mahama Bawumia edibi abegum na watoto bi ye edi ama John Dramani Mahama. According to Dr. Mahama Bawumia, no say John Dramani Mahama ente the issue of policies on TSC. That is why he's struggling to understand what the MPP government is trying to do for Ghana. Into my uncle, Ninkonko Tiensem, our Dr. Alhaji Mahama Bawumia, and ne, or the Abetua Bonten, Efa policies are or modia gu from a numa or more kireti, and what they want to do in the future as soon as he takes over the nation. Doctor there, he's the most finest ever politician in the country called Ghana. Nyanto basene tieno. Miya me say ebeye wodankasa how doctor explains himself. Yankode nkonko tie. Ewia ebesa yanto aso. Subscribe na follow this channel way. So that be abrebi ebeba life bia no. Wonsuru benya yensempa ne bia tie.
Okay. Ama omo. Yeah, omo be dream home because Omuanitua said the Ghana Omampenyin President Akufo-Addo government no. Ijuma yebeye ama omo. So ya say ye back constituency we ma ya ye we. Say need ye feel. Obi betime hu say ade e wo ka no. No cry and I say no cry no because omuna omo ho o say why ye we wo omo nchema na one year omo behu so my campaign no much better because it's evidence based in a sense.
Okay. But the other thing is, I mean, we saw how you campaigned. The message to Ghana for this time around. No, when your opportunity to show what you can do to the Ghanaian people. And more rounds is here no message ben amodeko. And then I'm more catch Ghana for. Well,
you catch Ghana say. Boy, share 2016, no, you did bonus, so most of it, 80% of our promises have been fulfilled.
80%?
80%, either delivered 100% or we are delivering. So, and your delivery track and also it's every promise I am making, and in fact, your manifesto, your launch, you know, we went through. Adia you're promising first part of the manifesto no you say the accounting for our stewardship and your first part so listed promises I am making and whether we've been able to do them or not, what we've been able to do and list so accounting for our stewardship no is a critical part of your manifesto no so me bo pro your country ni passe you see ye ba no ye be we anyway we need me that is the first part of the manifesto. Then the second part now me nipa kasano you say we ya free SHS planting for food and jobs, NAPCO, one village, one dam, one constituency, one ambulance. All these new transformational policies are it's worth protecting. Inti my fan dear grow we have to stay the course because now NDC war abainum no most of these things if not all and so ye mistake na umusamba ye besanko ichire so that is the next message. Then the third part they say once we protect adia as said FSH says no beyond that that is the promises are for the next term. So then Yakasa about the tertiary loans for the students, school, rent allowance loans, and then developing the credit system in Ghana. So the cars, fridges, you see, a problem because I just cash in from houses to cars to whatever. So we had most advanced nations credit system so this term no ya started putting in place building blocks ebema credit system no ayejuma intina ya national ID card any digital addresses any mobile money interoperability nyina so that obia bewo bank account or mobile money accounts almost the same as a bank account, and so because of mobile money interoperability, so sani mean to next term then the credit we would get the credit system na so that national ID card that is what we will need to give you loan na wetumako university because even in baby out because the digital address number or started juma national ID number no tax identification number next year all of the 15 million national ID so build this system said credit system so that you nipa loans, rent advance loans, tertiary institutions loans, lease vehicles for drivers and all of that. So what we want to do, housing, low income housing and all of that, so that nipa ben say ampa mo voting man na adoda nkwa Akufo-Addo any MPP still omo ejuma omo beye na dimfaso abre obia
Vice President Edin Komo, let me now say we're also live on the Joy News channel on Multi TV, the Pulse Jumedia or Joy News on Multi TV, FI interview live, Joy FM FI live, Adom FM FI live, Sanso and Uko Kumasi in sister radio stations in Shra FM and I Love FM and so FI in Jumedia live, Intermotion and so MFA all our online platforms FI and in social media platforms including Asempa FM's Facebook page Okoha Ubetimi Ashayan live into Munina Munshan and so MIA. We just started and Afina Yasha Asia first question His Excellency and the tour wako so far and the kind of message or the Emma His Excellency who can be say March 80% of your campaign promises.
Yes, delivered or delivering. The opposition thinks that is overly exaggerated, and they make the point say offer be to say one village, one dam. The promise was specific. Say Ghana for Traba Mamo say your mama 4 years, I would make sure say every village in the northern part of the country in a dam. As we speak, more around 560. That cannot be said to be a promise delivered. In the meantime, the manifesto tracker that comes under delivering. I can say delivered. You see, it's being delivered. We are delivering. So far, we have about 435 one village, one dams. And these were 435 dams are now in so for a village or a group of villages, Umunya sa dam because one time in what areas are one village, one dam, but critical areas were in the north especially where so a serious problem. So one village, one dam we have started. So we've started with 435. The next phase of dams will also come in and we'll go. So you can say we are delivering. You can say we have finished delivering. So it's still consistent with our assessment and it's part of the 80% of delivering or delivered.
And I believe you've heard what a former president in was dams. Fortunately, the northern part. Or say this is not what the people of the northern region expect. And dam.
You see, Okobole the constituency. I will say about 10 dams over or see who dams no one know. But that means he's not touring his own constituency. And Kaoto Bole say
constituency.
Oh yes, well 10 dams. And I think there was Ghana GTV program be on a normal call bole, and they interviewed people, and they were so happy with the dams. The chiefs me call toy, ahim funi they are almost praising government, Bob government abaso say. But dams Bawumia yemfa mombra. We say dams is part of a three-pronged strategy in terms of water availability for farmers. You were three-pronged strategy, First one, one village, one dam, and then I see dams across. At the moment, you see 10 per constituency. So small dams for cattle, for washing, for use in different things, building and for irrigation. One dam can irrigate 5 hectares. So if you take the 500 and so dams we are doing, that's over 12,000 hectares, right? Ghana Hengina, the irrigable public land that we have is 12,980 hectares. The whole of Ghana.
The whole Ghana.
Yes. The one village, one dam, if you add the irrigable land they can irrigate, it's about amount that exists currently. So it's not small. The second strategy in Nayawano is to rehabilitate dams like Tono, Via, Bontanga, and so on. Said the medium scale dams, which we are doing. Tono has gotten its first rehabilitation in 40 years. And we visited Tono just recently. So you have that second phase. Then the big one is the Pwalugu Dam. Pwalugu Dam, not the Pwalugu multi-purpose dam, and it will be the largest investment in northern Ghana since independence. Almost $1 billion is going in there. We're doing flood control. Ever control Bagri Dam flooding every year.
Yeah, but no, I've not seen work commence.
Work has commenced, but they were waiting to do the earthworks. Water na abano me call recently. So I'm soon air ton. Just because there were floods there, and to do the earthworks, machines no contractors no almost was site but they want the water to obey. And now almost started a human earthwork, but the site, the clearing has been done, the camp has been put in place, and they are ready to move with the work. But almost say in so no air ton and a flood in no say human say, but Yamea domain chebia they will say. But if you have the Pwalugu dam, it will irrigate another 12,000 plus hectares, flood control and electricity. So we have a three-pronged strategy for agriculture in northern Ghana. I pursue the multi-purpose Pwalugu Dam, the Tono, Bontanga, Via, those sorts of the medium scale ones, and then the one village, one dam. So commercial agriculture is taken care of, subsistence agriculture is taken care of, household nina. So it's part of a strategy. Unfortunately, your mama doesn't understand it. Clearly. Even in his own constituency, he doesn't appreciate the 10 dams that have been done. He doesn't even know they exist. I think he's clearly, if he says he hasn't seen any, that means he doesn't know they exist in his own backyard.
But if I am like John Mahama, maybe I mean to me if village be in any of the northern regions. Na me be moyen etro abamamo. And I recall say time I promised nearby, Dr. Mustafa Hamid made the point say so mo calculation in the 3 northern regions then now bear 5,000 plus villages. It is one of these villages now in 4 years minimum who damn because out of 5,000 that's a more less than 500.
Let's say 10%. You see, but from independence and Dependence and kaye 10%. And can say we. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, because you would have finished it. You see what I mean? So if in one term we have 10%, then kakra because Rome was not built in a day. And yes, sir. So you start take kakra over time. It will cover everybody. And yes, sir.
Yeah.
So we are doing it. And so one village now what said this other village has got it. Also, be hope say enche also ebedu 10. So and we are being responsible.
I listened to the history behind Sa Promise, and I Minister of Special Development Initiative said now only Cabo or baby na to
you call Upper West and na me say nipan en tiase wo hona nsuo ni ho a village uniswa FM say na ye bo your campaign or Upper West na the two old women be and na omo two dam omo nsa na omo di ye sa ejuma no omo two from say omo be create place unso be to egu ho that I mean yet na me see and stop it na ye no mo kobo nkomo all women were among many of them, so you know mokobo komala ye fi hono me say there's got to be a better way to do this. We can provide these villages, these small dams. It will be much better, say, than what these people are trying to do with their bare hands, just to get water. And the idea started at that place. And papa.
When you go back now, the year with these dams, you're satisfied. Say that challenge you saw has been addressed.
Satisfied because in fact that now me were know of me called the boy me free the boy na nsono ato me free the boy ko da mango so me free the boy na some family be nsono toy na egu form no ono de omontare aba ebo hohoro right.
Oh, really?
In the small
dam.
In your dam.
Okay.
In your dam, and so ato just on the side of the road.
Okay.
Now, and so ato so water no are collecting, and they just came right there. Say, "Omobe you see sa water no." As you see, omuniama. Let me say, wow, these people, omunya small dam. It would have been, much. So water no.
Okay.
Let's not underestimate the importance of water to place people who don't have water or access to water, dry season especially, is so important, especially up north. So me call my satisfied one MP I can't me say dams I win an election amano dada.
Oh really?
10 dams I the constituency or can't me say times I win the election man.
Eddie Amano. Oh yeah MPP MP ana.
Or MPP MP. You see so me can't constituency
Okay. As part of your tour of the northern part, visited some other project. Looking back, so there is this debate about projects they are in a signature project, they are in a community based project. In the northern part of our country where you come from, and Mono, can you beat your chest and say yeah, yet this signature project in the north?
I think the most important project here in the north since independence, a Pualogu Dam project.
Okay,
is the biggest investment. Say we're drawing books no more since independence.
Okay, like I watch
government be by say Pualogu Dam, but we're here as a signature project, and in Ebeda number one. So There's no doubt about that. Palogo Dam, no, it's clear. Government, but for any government since independence, there's no investment ever seen. Palogo Dam, you know, and it's something that is for the country. It's something that and all of that. So very pleased with that signature project. And a confirmed type of project, you know. Sada type of project. So Usha North Honor Legacy me call North. Mibisa omo me call constituency bia me call mibisa omo, what is the legacy of SADA? Savannah Accelerated point it out just after almost spending $100 million no, one project just back in any of the 57 constituencies. Just me constituency bia mibisa just point it out back up. Just one project after spending $100 million. Just one. Said, this is what SADA did after 8 years. You know, Omentimi pointed out one. Obientimi more one project. One, just one. From SADA. And there is none. I confirm no more to Burkina. Trees no emoshi. So only one. Just one. The whole of the 57 regions. 57 constituencies. Just one signature project. One, even not signature. Umenchire and one project. Umenchire one project. Ushia said the Northern Development Authority by Enoa. There is no constituency, none. Aubeko in the 5 northern regions, signature project or project. The same Middle Belt Development Authority. Say yamfa only the northern development, the Middle Belt, any coastal. Yes. So the same as Middle Belt. Middle Belt. There's no constituency Unya project. There's no constituency in coastal that Unya project. In fact, development authorities, no, there's no constituency in Ghana. And Unya project. Whoa. It's very, very amazing. And that is a major difference, Obi, between Yen and Dia, in terms of infrastructure provision, na Adia NDC, because many constituencies in 8 years, Adia MPP, NDC, 8 years, Oko Gonja Nova, Oko Zabzugo, Oko Tatalea, they struggle to find the projects in 8 years. But there would be some communities and then so they will tell you yes, but of course it's possible. Okay. But you can say districts. I'm talking about districts. Or constituencies. Okay. There's no constituency now that you can there's none that can say Omunhu project and Nami English, Botiano English I'm from. Yes. You know, under NDC, what projects were there? Any under MPP, they can show you many projects under MPP, and it's a simple thing. So that is where you see the impact of development at the district level, at the constituency level. Green book assem, you know. So we ask people, say, there are so many constituencies and districts. Develop. I went to Banda the other day. And that is a problem. But it is this same project, and Mokritex Akase. These are not what you call project. One-seater toilet. Those are not projects you should be boasting about. And sometimes the mentality of our people, when you get into government,
Asempa FM.
Because you belittle things and you belittle problems. Nipawo say, villager na only toilet. Dear helper, Utimako toilet bush mo na wawako cow. It happens all the time. Toilets we cook we are boa pro na ye boa pro no. You cook village after village. One of the biggest demands in many of the villages say you pay toilet, you pay borehole, you pay electricity. Those were the key demands. So uba baimwa. So ushe your manifesto 2016. You say water for all, toilets for all. Because it's responding to a need via ewo. You see, so only toilet. It means you go to open defecation. Open defecation, so it will health consequences. Am I? In the 8 years of the MDC government, the number of communities that are open defecation free was about 440 communities. Right? 440 communities. In 4 years under NPP, 4,700 communities have been declared open defecation free. Just look at it. 8 years, 440. 4 years, 4,700 communities have been declared open defecation free because you are investing in sanitation. You're investing in all these toilet facilities across to be able to get that declaration that you're doing. And these are very important. These projects cannot be belittled. We are doing the big projects, by the way. And yet, we are not doing the big projects, the interchanges. We are doing more interchanges in the first term than any government in the history of this country. In our first term, we've started.
You've heard the narratives around those interchanges, that these are projects you inherited. And
which one?
For example, the Tema Motorway Interchange project.
It wasn't an inherited project. No. How can you, Obi, wait there, it doesn't make sense. We negotiated the Tema Motorway interchange project. We took it
effort from the previous government.
Well, I think that they were looking to the World Bank to get some money for a flyover in Tema. It isn't the same project. We went to Japan. We got the negotiation. We came to Parliament, passed the thing, and I cut the sword, by the way, for Tema interchange. So it is there. Of course.
Obichibilamte.
It was negotiated and started this year. Yes, I think this year that we started Obichibilamte. Yes, and it is ongoing. Tamale interchanges, part of the Sino-Hydro facility. I think the Pukwasi was negotiated before we actually came into office, but we started. This construction started, I think, when we came into office. I think it was negotiated just before we left office, but we have continued with the project, and it is coming to fruition. And Takrady, I just cut the Takrady PTC interchange. Sordono. The Nungwa is also going to come along. So we have started a lot of these major projects, and so.
And to be clear, Your Excellency, for the Tema Motorway interchange, how can I say exclusively this government?
At the end of the day, we believe that it is our project. Of course, there was a flyover that NDC wanted to do, and my understanding is that they were doing this with the World Bank. But this is, I think, a grant facility from Japan. Right, and the Minister for Roads and Highways went to Japan and actually negotiated it and came back. We took it to Parliament, passed it, and I went and cut the sword for the project to start, and it has started. So I don't know what other claims other people will have, but at the end of the day, it is for Ghana anyway. It's for Ghana, of course. People can claim whatever they want, but it is for Ghana. As far as I am aware, that is the case, that we completed the negotiations. We took it to Parliament. We got it passed in Parliament, completed the commercial transaction, and I don't think I cut the sword for that one, but we cut the sword for it, and it started in our term.
So you can exclusively claim credit for that. Pokwasi, you admit, say
no, Pokwasi was an AFDB finance project that was, I think, completed in terms of the negotiations were completed before we came into power. There's no doubt about that in my mind that it was the negotiations for that was completed. We have done.
And a Takrady PTC, I know a Sino-Hydro project.
That's right.
They
are both Sino-Hydro projects.
Okay. And the last time I called Tamale, you visited the interchange.
Very well.
Tamale,
I call very well. I think it's 40% plus complete.
40%.
Yeah, plus complete, and it's coming very well. It's going to be a major. Again, it's a signature thing in the north that we have done. It's the first interchange, Ewo Northern, 5 northern regions. It's just like first interchange in Western region, PTC interchange, So we are bringing major things, and so it will go forward.
The morning show host on Joy recently echo Pualugu because of floods near Kosovo, and it's an Juma on the Pualugu multi-purpose dam in Komo, and they made a point. I think I may share a report on Joy News. Say the same contractors was Juma on the interchange project. Is that true?
Well, it's Sino-Hydro.
Okay.
So Sino-Hydro is doing the interchange. The interchange in Tamale.
Okay.
And Sino-Hydro is the same company also doing
the Pualugu
Dam.
Okay.
Yes, that is true.
Okay. And they would have to finish one before they do the.
No, they are a major company. They are doing not only the Tamale interchange, they are also doing the Takrady PTC interchange. So they can do many projects at the same time, and they have different contractors, and also I'm sure they will subcontract and all of that.
Okay. So Sino-Hydro as a company is doing the Pualugu Dam, but the funding for Pualugu Dam in free Sino-Hydro.
Yeah, but we are looking at all of that at the moment.
Okay.
But we believe the barter arrangement was about 2 billion. 2 billion,
yes.
Yes. So we the first phase of Sino-Hydro, we are using around 647 million of that 2 billion. Right. So we have been discussing whether, for example, we should look at Pualugu as one of the beneficiaries of this in terms of realigning it. But it's the discussion that is ongoing.
And so far from Sino-Hydro, a little over 600, and I see a project.
That's right.
From Sino-Hydro.
That's right. Yeah. But it's very important, Obi. Okay, say, Kwaji Sino-Hydro facility. It was a facility was new. It's not been done before. Even China, such a program before. So it was something that was new. Nana Akufo-Addo sma me na me call China.
One now call.
Me na me call. Na me call kanchiro say. Ye per se build a lot of infrastructure, but ye per se we use a bauxite. So that we build an integrated aluminium industry. Na yetimia export sa bauxite in the form of alumina or aluminium. Na yenye sikanoa na idia tuyo moka, but first omumbe build sa infrastructure in $2 billion, and then after that then ye bitma started. By that time there is a bauxite integrated industry na yetimia tuyo moka, and na it wasn't immediately accepted. I mean, I think they told us that we will discuss it further, and then we continued discussing it. But as usual, NDC say 419 in Mbaso Sano Mukai, but we persisted, and then we have seen tangible benefits from the Sino-Hydro facility, Jasikando do Pepesu Road, or El Koso, as we speak, Tamale Interchange, Cape Coast Inner City, Sunyani Inner City Roads, Accra, Kumasi, Ninginawom, Dodowa, Adenta, the dual carriage is coming. Ninginawom is benefiting all of us. So the usual is a hoax. It's a hoax. Argument, your opponents, they've been proven to be wrong on this matter.
The other thing, and still speaking about infrastructure, where Sika Aba Abayno Ensem. For example, Oshe current figures from the Bank of Ghana, BBI national debt stock, akwa and Ubia Oye privy to the current figures, and I was reading from the Summary of Economic and Financial Data, September 2020 from the Bank of Ghana, and it says current public debt in US dollar terms, 46.3 billion US dollars. In Ghana cedi terms, 263.1 billion Ghana cedis. The percentage of GDP, that's around 68.3, and even where you rebased, into say any rebase now, maybe it would have been more. Even with the rebasing, we are inching closer to 70%, and that's more like HIPIC zone. Say, share all these Sikaba Bino and Semua in terms of yen debt stock Esroa Akona. Is it commensurate with Project Amaya Ediama Ghana for?
Well, Obi, I think it is very, very commensurate. The debt stock and the debt matter that you're looking at. I think that you have to put it in perspective. We have managed the debt very well. Ghana's debt, in fact, extremely well in the circumstances. We've done very, very well, and I have to thank the Bank of Ghana and the Ministry of Finance. Said they are managing your debt now, because if you don't look at it in the broader perspective, you may get some misleading analysis. Say your debt stock now. When you look at the growth of the debt stock, we were very concerned from 2009 going, said the rate of growth of the debt stock was enormous. And it was putting so much pressure on interest rates.
FM.
It was put on so much pressure, and the general macro stability of the country. But so you look at the increase in the debt stock from 2008 to 2012, 267% increase in the debt stock. From 2012 to 2016, 243% increase in the debt stock, right? And then you look at from 2016 to 2019, 76% increase in the debt stock. So the rate of increase of the debt stock has come down very significantly.
But that is you looking at percentages.
But
as a lay person, the nominal figure.
No, but when you are doing economics, you're doing relationships, right? So you're looking at flows interacting between different sectors of the economy. And so the percentages actually are what matters.
But what we will pay back, the nominal figure, not the we don't pay back in percentage.
So just relax, kakra. So if you look at the rate of increase in the debt stock, it has slowed down completely. It has not completely, but it has really slowed down significantly. Then you look at the rate of growth of the debt to GDP ratio. The debt to GDP ratio, if you look at between 2008 and 2012, the debt to GDP ratio increased by 49%. Between 2012 and 2016, it increased by 19%, right? And between 2016 and 2019, it increased by 3.9% if you exclude the financial sector bailout, or 9.3% if you include the financial sector bailout. But in any case, even if you include the financial sector bailout, you see a major reduction in the growth of the debt to GDP ratio as well. So in terms of, and then at the end of the day, when you are in doubt, you always look at the fundamentals, you see, because if your debt stock is growing uncontrollably, it will reflect in the movement of interest rates in the country. Isn't that the case? Yes. So what has been happening during the period of the NDC, right, when they were increasing the debt stock by this rate, you saw interest rates going up. You saw the exchange rate depreciation taking place. You saw inflation going up, right? In our context, first of all, we were using about 6.9% of our GDP to pay interest at the end of 2016. 6.9% of our income to pay interest, right? As at the end of last year, we're using 5.7%. So even though the debt stock nominally has gone up, you are using less as a proportion of your income to service the debt, because we have sort of looked at, moving the debt more to a longer dated format than the shorter dated format that we're in. So we've elongated the yield curve as far as the debt stock is concerned. So we are able to bear the burden of that debt. We are, instead of paying 6.9% of our GDP in debt service, which used to be the case, we are paying 5.7% of our GDP in debt service, which is really much, much better. You see, so you look at that and you say, yes, we are managing that debt much better. Of course, Obi, of course, I mean, the debt stock has increased for a number of reasons, and we cannot, hide from it. When the NDC left office, they had negotiated power purchase arrangements. How much? 60% of what they had negotiated, we didn't need. So we were left with excess capacity charges, close to $1 billion a year for power we don't produce. There's not much we can do. The financial sector bailout has cost this country about 21 billion. Financial sector, 21 billion. Now we face the situation. Do you say you won't pay banks, savings and loans, microfinance, or do you pay? You don't have a choice. You pay the depositors. There were only 4.6 million depositors. Now almost sika aka. Banks, savings and loans, and microfinance. So 21 billion Ghana cedis. We had to find the money to pay. So you have all of this major infrastructure that we are also doing in there. So the debt stock, yes, in nominal terms has gone up. We are managing it very, very well. And the macro impact, you're not just looking at what does it mean? Does it mean inflation has gone up? No, it doesn't mean inflation has gone up. In fact, inflation rates have gone up. They've been coming down. Does it mean the exchange rate is depreciating faster? No, it doesn't mean the exchange rate is in fact depreciating by 50% less than what we had under the NDC. And in fact, Obi, this year is the most amazing thing has happened, notwithstanding COVID and everything that this economy is going through as we handle COVID. The exchange rate depreciation so far this year is around 2%. Annual depreciation, 2%. It's amazing.
Is it not because COVID, a lot of activity in the system name?
Well, the same thing will apply to many other economies. But we are looking at relative performance of Ghana, and we are one of the best performing currencies against the dollar right now. So it's not because everybody is feeling the impact of COVID, but I think Bank of Ghana has managed this very well. Their introduction of forward sales has really helped in reducing uncertainty in the market, and there's a lot more confidence with the management of the economy, and that confidence is translating also into the foreign exchange market.
The work back to nominal figures in common and and for example, some Ghana ni lepe. So between even June 2019 to July 2020, that's just a little over 1 year. Now, the increment in the debt stock, public debt, in June 2019, now a 204 billion Ghana cedis. July 2020, a 263.1 billion Ghana cedis. So our percentage to GDP, June 2019. Now a 58.5%. Under 1 year, a jump because 68.3%. Into we are almost inching closer to 70, and we are rebased figures.
No, Obi, the point that you are making is completely understandable. But when we say we have reasons why the debt stock in nominal terms has gone up. All this financial sector rescue that we are doing is part of the debt stock.
But that's 21 billion. One other 1 billion.
No, but that is annual dollars.
Yes.
Right? A billion is almost 5 billion cedis, right? So if you are looking at annually, even if you look at 3 years, that will be 15 billion, right? So if you are saying that you've increased the debt stock, but we know why the debt stock has increased. A lot of the reliefs we've given for COVID and all of that, we've had to take the shock. But that is fine. Once the president has said, we know how to resuscitate an economy. What we don't know is how to bring back lives. So we will protect the lives and livelihoods of Ghanaians, and then we will manage the economy in terms of getting back to the path of the fiscal consolidation after the year. So when we say when we went to Parliament, the Minister for Finance, Okoye, it was clear that COVID is going to result in a fiscal deficit of about 11%. Under the fiscal responsibility law, we were hoping to do less than 5%. But the nature of COVID, it's not just Ghana. Many countries have had to abandon their fiscal responsibility laws. Otherwise, we couldn't have cushioned the people from COVID. So, Scientina, increase deficit to 11 points something percent this year. But we know why it has gone up, and so we know how to bring it back down. And so we've done it. The first 3 years we've done. So yes, the increase. We don't have a choice. We have to pay people their deposits, right? You can say the debt to GDP ratio will go up as a result. That is fine, but you cannot say to people that because the debt to GDP ratio will go up, we will not pay you the deposits are Aka banks more and Aka savings and loans. It's a cost to the economy, and we are going to absorb it and manage it better. We will grow much faster after this.
Maybe some final question on this near other areas. Will it be fair to ask you, said Ubusa NDC for in 2016, a very famous public lecture. So we share omo project and omo kaso maye nyina. Okay, cost nibo mo ana isi 7 billion. You remember? And Ubusa omo famously said the rest of sika omanya in loans from a procure any debt sika no ewo hin, and you use that popular phrase they've used it for consumption. Will it be fair say answer Ubusa question? I said budget a wo ka se maye no saying sika aka no ekwa hin fa.
No, I think it is fair. it is fair to ask about the use of funds generally. I think the accountability is there. Yebisa sa question no na omo kan kire say yenko parliament enko hwe because loans ni nyina buy no eco parliament and the parliament approve here. That was the answer they gave to us. But we can of course we have the data to show said what has been done and what has resulted in the increase in borrowing. I've been talking to you about why we've had to borrow increasingly because of COVID, because of all these huge capacity charges they've left us with, and because of all the infrastructure we've had to do. Banking sector rescue has been a major part of this story. So and it's going well so far, and we don't have a problem explaining what we have used the money for, and we are very comfortable.
Did we borrow to deal with COVID?
Well, of course, for example, the IMF. For example, we took a facility from the IMF as a part of the COVID response plan. I think that's almost $1 billion.
Yes.
So yeah, it's part of it. But you want to look for resources when you have this major shock in your economy, a global pandemic, and you need the resources to fund the cushioning that you are doing, because at the same time you need to protect the people. Your revenues have come down, the growth has come down, and so you borrow to take care of the gap, and then you know that is a temporary situation, and then by next year, God willing, you are out of this, and you get back to the trajectory of fiscal consolidation that you were on. But I'm very, very optimistic about the future of this country. We've had to protect the people. We have protected the people. We've provided free water. We've provided free electricity. And in this very difficult situation, we've done things for the health workers and so on. And we have had to do it. And we will really make no apologies for that. In the meantime, even Chancellor Angela Merkel can say, for now we will throw out this whole issue of macroeconomic statistics and think about people's lives. Even Germany, the most strict fiscal managers of any economy in the world. This is Germany. They said for way the infant in China, nipa asset in them and make sure we can save the jobs and save livelihoods and save lives. And sana but in terms of COVID management, who say Ghana is being touted as one of the best managers of COVID in the world. Almost say the number 6 in the world at the last that I saw, and it is through all that we are doing, and so yes, there is a cost to it, but it is important to bear the cost to save our economy, to save lives, to save livelihoods, and to build for the future.
My share other areas, maybe banking sector cleanup, then I would come back to this issue, but to other areas, and protecting the Ghanaian people, security are very important. We are chairman of the police council, we are chairman of the Armed Forces Council. The air so in the Volta region and OT regions, Western Togoland, Sansan, you should be a worried man, Meboa.
I think, Obi, the Koso war on this criminal behavior in the Volta region. I think all Ghanaians should be worried. All Ghanaians should be worried because we are a very peaceful nation. In fact, the most peaceful nation in West Africa on the Global Peace Index. And we've been independent since 1957. And generally, Ghana has not been a place where you would find these sorts of issues coming up. But recently, you've heard people talking about, say, Ghana is not truly Ghana, and we should. Obi.
Oh, Ebi Kasa.
Say we should, and I want to understand where they are. That's why I think this gets criminal, because the history doesn't support Ansema Omokano, because Yeko independence, there was a plebiscite to this for the people of the then Western Togo. Say Omobe decided whether they want to join Ghana or not. The people included people in Ho, I think the Pando area, Buem, Krachi, Tukonja, Mampusi, Dagomba. No more, yeah. Omotusa plebiscite, no. I think that was 1956. And once that finished, there was a majority in favor of joining Ghana. And in the legislature, there was a discussion as to what type of Ghana are we going to have, a unitary Ghana or a federalist Ghana? I think at that time Nkrumah favored a unitary Ghana. The NLM at that time favored a federalist Ghana. But the debate took place in Parliament and the vote took place, and we opted for a unitary Ghana. So at that time, the boundaries of Ghana were determined. In fact, most of the southern voter was not part of the plebiscite. Most part of the Anlos and all of that, they were not part. They were all in the Gold Coast. So the area today, we see Western Togolanda, it must be a figment in your imagination. It does not exist. The Mampusis are part of Ghana. They have not expressed any interest in going in anywhere. The Gonjes are part of Ghana. They have not expressed any interest in going anywhere. The Oti people are part of Ghana. They have not expressed any interest of going anywhere. So where is this figment of Western Togoland? Where is it? Is it
suspicion?
Is it who? Oh, yes, suspicion.
Okay.
Is it who? Or some people in Ho, or some people in Pando or Peve. Where so we you just want to carve out Ho out of Ghana or Peve out of Ghana and make it a country, because it's a figment of the because there's no legal basis for those sorts of claims.
For those demands.
Yeah, there's no legal basis. So Isha is criminal. And so Ghana must come together. We are one country. This is not a political party matter. We are one country. We are different peoples in one country, and the land of Ghana is determined. There's no issue about losing 1 inch of the land of Ghana, across. It's already determined. So there is a clear situation that we have, and some criminals are trying to misrepresent history and engage in criminal activity. And so what you are seeing, the attacks you're seeing, are nothing but criminal activity. And from that point of view, all of us should be worried, and we should do everything, and we will do everything that we can from a security
analyst Biaka said, this is a failure. The leadership of this country have failed to protect the Ghanaian.
Well, I think that from where I sit, I know that the security agencies are doing a lot. It's not everything that we can say on air.
Okay.
But I am very confident and comfortable with the work and the reports that the security agencies have. In fact, they foiled things that could have been worse already. And we are we cannot, it's not everything that we can come out can say, but but we need to support them more.
Reactive, no,
it's not all. Of course, if somebody plans to attack a bus and you are not aware of it, you don't get the intelligence in time. Before you know it, they've attacked the bus. But I think there's been some good intelligence work taking place, and we've seen some work. We're going to have to even double and triple the effort, but we've invested a lot in the security services since we came into office, and they've done quite a bit, both the police and the army, in terms of vehicles, in terms of ammunition, in terms of conditions of service, and so morale generally is very high. We've invested in a lot of intelligence equipment, and so on, and so we're going to have to do more, because it's a live situation that we are dealing with now on a minute by minute basis, and they are deploying the resources as we speak into these areas. So we're going to continue to do well, and I know that the directions of the president are quite clear in terms of dealing with this, and the military, police, national security, they are all focused on this matter. No, in we in Ghana need unity. This is not a partisan matter. We need unity across all regions, across all tribes, across all religions. We need to talk and provide necessary intelligence as and when it is available to the security services, so that we can act. So part of the world in Africa, Ghana, our democracy, our peace is the envy of Africa, and I think that we shouldn't allow a few criminals to come and jeopardize, because what they are looking for doesn't exist. It's a figment of their in
the abiding opening put to say negotiations with
criminals. On what basis? Then you will be open to many things. Tomorrow it will be tomorrow you will go somewhere and some group will get up and say, the northern territories have to also be somewhere else, because we didn't, and then someone else will
it's not going to happen. Negotiations will not happen.
With who? These criminals? It's not. It doesn't make sense. I guess it doesn't make sense. So what we need is intelligence, and we will try to deal with this.